Good morning, and apparently Semper Fi for Americans, that is for the Marines, and for people out of the country, that is Semper Fi. It's kind of a Marine slogan. Anyhow, okay, so this is a Lenovo Yoga. These are problematic. I see them a lot for different reasons. This particular one is here because don't turn on with the switch. And a lot of times, in the majority of times, people say, well, I must need a new switch because my laptop won't turn on, or I need a new battery because my laptop won't turn on. It's kind of like if your car won't start, you don't get new keys, right? But in this case, it does feel like this switch doesn't feel quite right. It's kind of spongy. You don't hear it going, you don't feel it going click, click, click when you push it. Okay, so we are going to open this up and see, because I believe on these, the button here is pushing on a button that's sitting on the side of the board, like kind of like that, right? And it pushes that little button. So we're going to open this up and see what we can figure out. Okay, a lot of times when I do this, I will see the pattern of these. Sometimes these are different in length and things, and I put them on the board that I'm working on just like that. Like, for instance, these are the top ones. It makes it easier so the same screws go into the same spots that they came out of. Like Mac is real bad about having screws that look exactly the same, but they're not. All right, try to get this popped open. There we go. And in the words of Soren, the laptop is open. Okay. Put that aside. All right. Okay, so let's see if I can show you what we're talking about here. Let's see, go into the microscope. There is the switch. And it doesn't feel like it's pushing anything. Okay. So the question is this switch just these two right here? Let's see if I short those out. Let's see if we get a fan to turn on. Let's see if I can figure out how to. I can't really do this in frame. Yeah, that's just mounting. That's just mounting holes, but they're both going to be ground. So it's very likely the switch is these four dots right here. I wonder what happens if I short one out. I don't recommend doing this, by the way. Yeah, I didn't see anything turn on. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the board out, and we will see what this switch looks like on that side and go from there. So I'll pause this so you don't have to watch me unscrewing this board. We'll go from there. I will also mention this. This is important, especially in certain models. Always, always, always remove the battery before getting started. I mean, I work with metal tools, but you don't want that to short anything out. So always get this battery unplugged before starting the work on the board. Boy, this one's in there. Feels like it's glued in there. There we go. There you go. Battery unplugged. Now we can actually get started. Okay, I've gotten most of the screws out and unplugged these cables, so it should just pop out. But as a general rule, I do like to remove the fans and the heatsink, because if I'm in this far, it's not a bad idea to clean out the thermal pads, thermal paste, and put new thermal paste in there, and clean out the fans and all that good stuff. So, and also you notice that I'm kind of putting these where they go. These are from this side of the board, these from here. A lot of times people have cats and things like that, and when they do, you can have lots of nastiness on these, in these fans, and you're not doing them any favors by not cleaning it. That still feels pretty good. I'll still put new stuff on there though. Alright, so there's our board. It's held in just a little. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now, I already see the problem. Now, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to put it under the microscope. There we go. There is the problem. Let me get a better angle here. All right. So there's our problem. Now, if you were to take this someplace, I'm not going to mention corporate names, but if you took it someplace, they might tell you that you are out of luck. But it just looks like it was a bad soldering job, because look at that, it just came right off. But let's see. I'm going to see how this feels to push the button, because if it still clicks like it's supposed to, then we can just reuse this, no problem. If I don't hold this down, this is going to launch. I'm looking for that click when I push down on this button. Because a lot of times, even if you find that it's been broken off because somebody was pushing it really hard because it wasn't working right. Let's see. I want to hold this in a way that I don't lose it. That's the biggest thing. Let's see if I can. All right. Let's see here. Where do we go? There we are. All right. Whoa, see what I mean? Didn't go far though. I didn't think I could probably just do this. Yeah, it feels perfect, you guys. Perfect. So we can get away with this. It's pushing and feeling just fine. All right, so now let's see what the sides of this look like. I don't think anything broke off. Yeah, actually. See how it's pushed down like that? It's supposed to be flat. So I'm going to use my other tweezers, straighten this out. So what it looks like, it was pushed upward. So it was pushed upward like this, and that's what broke it off the board and bent those. All right, so now we'll do this. Turn the other way. See what that looks like. Those look okay. All right. There it is. Is that... Yeah, it looks like that one broke off, actually. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think I can still get by with it. Yeah, I can get by with it. I mean, I could order another switch, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense, because if you can use this one here, then why not? Yeah. Yeah, I can get it. I can solder to that, no problem. All right, so I'm going to set that aside, because otherwise we lose it. Now, we need to prep this area right here. I'm going to, this is about $300 board, so we just saved them a bunch of money. As I was mentioning earlier, take it to a place like one of these corporate places. They'd send it away for 3 weeks, and then they'd maybe tell you that you need to buy a new one, or they might tell you that you have to get a new board, $300, $400, $500. This job right here, $60 labor is what I'm charging this customer, since we don't have to order a new switch. All right, first thing I'm going to do is throw a little flux on here, because I want to incorporate new solder, because I don't know, this solder from the factory gave way. I don't need that to happen again. So I think I'm going to remove the solder and make it like brand new again. I'm going to remove it with solder braid, solder wick is what they call it. And it looks like this. Like it's kind of like a wire, really, but it's copper wire, and putting it on there will suck up the solder. I have a super tiny little thing here. I actually got a new, just recently got a new Hakko. It's a really expensive soldering irons, but I haven't taken it out of the box because I'm just real busy. But I want to do that soon, and then maybe I'll do a video about all the tools I use. So if you're a hobbyist or do this for a living, you can see what I use and maybe get some good information. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so everything you hear here is going to be my honest opinion. All right, here we go. Yeah, this one reason I bought a new soldering iron is because these seem to be a little bit on the this seems it's a little weak. It's tiny, but it's a little bit on the weak side. All right, that looks good, right? It's like starting with a brand new surface area here. First thing I'm going to do is clean it off a little bit and get that flux off there while it's still warm. All right. Now, I will say this too. It looks like this is part of the switch, but I don't believe it is. I don't know if that's. I don't see that there's anything on the back of that switch that really would fit that. I don't think. Woo! I almost lost it, you guys. I don't want to lose this thing here. All right. I don't see anything on the back of there at all. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it right there, and then I'm going to tack it down with one pad, probably one of the back ones, because they literally have no solder on them. So I'm going to probably work with one of those. Once I tack it down, then I can not have to worry that it's going to fly off somewhere. Yeah, something like that. That should be about right there. These like to move a lot. If you're wondering how small this is, there's my thumb. But I want to get it into a perfect spot where I know it's not going to hit it crooked when you push the button. I like that. Maybe just a hair up this way. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So, first thing I'm going to do is get a little solder on my soldering iron first. Just enough to tack down one of these little legs. And I'm going to put a slight amount of pressure on this so hopefully it won't move. There we go. See if we can get a little bit of solder on there. Well, there's a little bit, just enough to make it so it doesn't move. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to give it a little bit of flux just to make sure this solder flows the way it's supposed to. And then we clean it up after. You don't want flux getting inside that switch too much if you can help it. All right, so let's get it soldered. You want to try to make sure that it covers that pad. Otherwise, if it's just a round ball, it may not hold the way it needs to. So I'll come back to that in just a second, that one. Trying to get this out of the way. I'll just pull it off for now. All right. All right, get a little bridge there, but we don't want that. That'll do. Yeah, we got another one up here now. It's really difficult not to bridge this when you're working in such small spaces, but flux usually will help to avoid that. I'm going to take a little bit of this solder back off. All right. And just to add a little bit more on here, we should be good to go. Like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect. And when you're working with spaces so tiny, it's not easy to make it perfect. All right. I'm going to say that's probably good enough. All right. And you know, because there's just a little bit much right here, I'm going to take just a little bit off here if I can. All right, well, I'm going to leave it. That looks okay, and I think that will work. Let's get this cleaned off. A little alcohol. That looks good. All right, I believe that'll do. I'm just looking. I'm looking at the end here. Let's see if I can show this to you. Lower it down a little more, I think. Okay. There we go. So I am not 100% happy. It seems to be looking at an angle a little bit. I would prefer that to be pushed down a little more. So I think I'm going to heat up the solder right here and push down. I mean, it's on there, but I would rather it be a little pushed down just a little bit more. You'll see what I mean. See how it's a little at a funny angle there? That's from when it was originally damaged. It will still work, but I'm going to try to just push this down just a little bit if I can. All right. So I'm going to use the end of this to push down here and see if I can get it to push down a little bit. That seemed like it worked. Let's try this one here. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. So we're going to put this back together and go from there. Okay, so we are good to go. Everything's back in place. New thermal compound, that's what I was pointing out. Also, on these, you want to be careful about your wiring. I had to kind of route these antennas around this so this fan would sit down where it's supposed to. I'm going to plug in the battery. We're going to flip it over and see if it turns on with that switch. Usually, you can tell pretty much if it's going to work by once you put it back together, if you're still feeling that click like you're used to, which I am, so I'm sure it's going to work. Everything's set. Now, gonna hit the power button. Here we go. All right, I see fans turning. That's great. Backlight, there we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close that down. Guys, thank you as always for being a part of my channel. I'm really enjoy what I do here, and I know I don't post as much as I should, but I'm always working on getting better at that. But my important thing is not to put the same shit out there every day. You know, a lot of channels put stuff out there that's the same stuff every single time, or 6 or 7 different things over and over. That's why my frequency of posting isn't that frequent, because I try to do something different and useful each time, not just spam you with the same fix. Anyway, enough of that. Listen, if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. My email is in my bio, and I do my best, as busy as I am, I do my best to check comments and things like that. So if you know anybody that could benefit from my channel, please share it with them, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys.